Greetings and welcome to a great product launch for YouAttest, AWS Fine-Grained Entitlement Audits. So Garrett, why YouAttest for AWS?
Yeah, great question. AWS is the premier infrastructure as a service cloud provider, with most enterprises having some of their cloud infrastructure in AWS. And thus, being the biggest, AWS is under attack by hackers. This is why AWS themselves came up with key recommendations on preventing attacks and ransomware.
So what are AWS's recommendations?
AWS created an AWS blueprint for ransomware defense based on the Center for Internet Security CIS blueprint for ransomware defense.
So what relevance does YouAttest have to this blueprint?
Perfect. These blueprints call out that enterprise to enforce the principle of least privilege on AWS to ensure that users and admins only have the permissions that they need to do their task.
Okay, so now the fun stuff. So let's have Kashev show how YouAttest can help enterprises audit their AWS entitlements with YouAttest. So take it away, Kashev.
Thanks, Ashley. Garrett. And yes, I mean, when we talk about AWS, we will only have a handful of people having access to the infrastructure, but that handful of people, their access needs to be reviewed regularly because they have admin privileges, some special privileges. That's what YouAttest does. Let me just show you how we audit those identities in YouAttest. We will just go ahead, after the connection with or into the AWS infrastructure, we will just run the audit. I'll just give it a name, AWS audit. And we have the ability to get the root account as well, by which this new account was created in AWS. So you can see what's going on in there. So we'll select the due date when this audit is due. And the source value is my AWS integration here that we have done for this tenant. Now, when I go next, you can fetch all the users, but you can also fetch the root user just to see when was, the root user has access to the whole account. You can see the date. You can see what time did they access the last time login. And then also you can choose whether you want to see all the users or only the active or inactive users. Now, after this step, there are two types of audit in AWS. What do you want to achieve? Do you want to fetch all the groups assigned to these users? Or do you want to fetch all the permissions and policies assigned to these users, or both? So I'll just go with both and submit. Now, using the connector, YouAttest is fetching all that information, and it's going to display that information for you in this format right here, where you can see all the users, their attributes, and not only the compliance, but also we address security when we fetch these users, because this exclamation mark it's going to be here for one of the three reasons. Either the MFA is disabled, or your password age is more than 90 days, or the last activity was maybe 45 days ago. So for any of these reasons, this will show up and we'll show you the details right here as well. And then the essential functionality is you can delegate, you can auto delegate to the managers, you can fetch the data if the manager is not here. But once this is done, you can certify or revoke the access or make your recommendations inside YouAttest so that your IT admins could execute those within AWS infrastructure. So this is what you're going to see, the action reviewed by, the timestamp, and the overall progress if you have revoked or certified the access. And that's what we do. Let me just revoke that just to show you what it appears and looks like. So here's the revocation or recommendation to revoke. Is the certification. You can hand this over by getting the report downloaded and hand it over to your AWS, your IT admin, just to execute those manually. And that's about it. Once you have the report, evidence is there. Over to you, Garrett.
Great stuff, Kashev. So just contact us at info@youattest.com and we'll help you audit your AWS and other key enterprise entitlements. Thank you.
Great job, team. All the best.